This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia, Flying Fist He-Man figure. I suspect somewhere at Mattel on the team somebody was like, hey, what is the lamest version of He-Man that we have created to date? Let's go ahead and turn that into a Masterverse figure. To be perfectly honest, the only thing Flying Fist He-Man had going for him was his action feature, and I'm just kind of assuming right now that just based on this design, he probably don't have that action feature at all. However, on the box here, it does look like we have Eternia in the background. That's more clear on the side. He's going up against Too Bad, who's already been released at one point. And I have him somewhere in my collection. I just haven't opened him. You'll note that's often a theme with me. I have the figure, I just haven't opened it. On the side, though, we get the pink version of the Sorceress, who has appeared in a couple of mini comics, most likely as a mist color. But honestly, I keep hoping they release a version of her. Like, there's no reason they can't do it in Origins either, because they've got a white sorceress, what was it, Temple of Darkness sorceress they called her, who came with Castle Grayskull. They have the standard Filmation color release, but both the sorceress and Teela have appeared in pink in the mini comics from the 80s. So let's get them both. I always thought, like, in the case of Maddie Collector, I had made the suggestion that they should have done like a Sorceress Teela 2-pack in pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month as a charity option, but of course, never happened. On the other side of the box, we just get some... Okay, I know, He-Man's just doing like the hero pose here, but it's so cliche looking to me. I don't know, maybe my general opinion of the Flying Fist He-Man is kind of coloring my look at this figure, but still. On the back of the box, we see He-Man with his weapon. It looks like this version does not come with a power sword. And again, it doesn't look like he has action features, so that takes away half the fun of the figure in the first place, or whatever. Flying Fist He-Man, the heroic leader with the arm-swinging action. Oh god. He-Man discovers an ancient weapon fueled by the power of Grayskull, long thought lost, which shows him the way of the flying fists. They could even come up with good copy for this. Good lord. Let's go ahead and open them up. Can I just note, the Pink Sorceress keeps on kind of reminds me too. There was a toy review site back when Classics was a thing, and they used to do like little comic skits on it. I cannot remember what the name of it is, or if it's even still around. Because I think even during the Classics era, it basically shut down. But they had a story where they had, I think they took Teela, or no, they took Adora, put Evil Lynn's dress on top of her, and had Randor going to the store when the weapons pack came out. So the Adora in Evil Lynn's garb was the shopkeep, and he's like, I need a sword for my son. He has a pink sword. My son has a pink sword. I need a different sword. My son has a pink sword. Something like that. It was kind of funny. Really? They used rubber bands on this? On the side of the package, it looks like he comes with extra fists, and I have no idea what that is there. Oh. Maybe he does have an action feature, because that looks like, well, that either just holds that in there, or... Okay, yeah, so this looks like it's what holds his weapon on his back. So obviously it goes in and slides down. I got the goes in part down. I just can't get the slides down part going. Maybe the other way? Okay, we got that in place. Oh, so he's got golden fists. God. So there, you can make his fist gold. Oh, hey, look at that. Hold on. The bracer does come off, although that has kind of been standard on a lot of Masterverse stuff. I don't know, some of the ways the light reflects on this kind of makes it look like paint's chipping off, but these look like they're gold plastic, which probably means they'll fall into that gold plastic syndrome issue. Ah, that hinge barely moves. So yeah, I think it's safe to say He-Man does not have an action feature. For a moment there, I thought that this cloth bit was going to actually, or the little bit hanging in the front was going to be cloth, but it's not. It also doesn't really hang centered, which I'm not going to lie, kind of bothers me a bit. Though it does look like we got new boot sculpting here and got these ugly ass things. To go along with all the other complaining I've done, I think this is a terrible looking face sculpt for him. The dude looks like his cheeks are like hollowed, like, or, you know, around the jawline. They look kind of hollowed, like he's suffering from anorexia or starting to, even though he's still muscular as heck. I don't like the way that the cloth is hanging there, like I said before. The bracers are fine. The boot design's not bad either. I don't have a problem with that. The armor looks okay. Looks like it pops off like standard armor does. Then we just get the basic Masterburst buck underneath. Masterburst. Oh shit! Shoot. So there is supposed to be. I mean, there is a joint in here. There's a hinge with a ball to kind of give us the ab crunch, and theoretically move it. Oh, there we go. Finally. Though to be perfectly honest, once you put the harness on there, I don't think you're gonna be able to do any of that. But it's there. Just saying. I wonder if it would have been easier to put that on without the armor being on him. I guess I did that as a separate piece to make it less likely to break, maybe? Ugh. So let's take a quick look at his accessories. Ah, it spins. I will say it does spin pretty good though. So at least there's that. He's also got like a little pointy thing. I guess you could ram it into somebody if you really wanted to. We have his shield here, and it's got kind of like the basic harness inside that we've seen with a lot of the male He-Man figures. Though he doesn't have the normal shield hand. And that little design up there kind of spins too. I will say this shield looks better than the Vintage and Origins version. But without the shield hand here. There we go. So if you use a screwdriver, you can kind of get the shield hand in there. That actually, honestly, once you got it in there, that probably is going to work better than the shield hand did. Oh, man. Also, it does appear that you can't have his elbow fully closed in order to hold the weapon because of where it sits. But yay, it's Flying Fist He-Man! Hooray! Look, I can spin it on my own. Yay! I kind of feel like those are going backward. I don't know why, but I feel like it should actually be spinning this way. I feel like that would hurt more going this way because with this angle, it would also catch you, whereupon here, it kind of like smashes into you and then goes away. Here, it smashes into you and catches you. But that's just my thought. Let me know what you think about that theory. We can still spin his shield. Sort of. Yay! So much fun! Yay! Look at it not spin when I fling him around. Okay, I know I'm being an asshole now at this point. So the head is on a ball joint. We do have a little bit of a hinge in there. Although if you may have just noticed, the neck all popped up when I did that. So we kind of get the up and down pretty nicely. His hair does interfere on him going back, but we can spin the head all around if we want, and he can kind of look the up and down with that. The shoulder pauldrons are attached to the armor, meaning that when we go to hinge up, they will interfere a bit. However, since they are hooked on to that and not just solidly on there, they will rise up a little bit more and let you get that in there. Although now the pauldron is biting into his arm. Oh my god, I can't get the arm back down. Of course, obviously, we fly 5th He-Man with the spinning weapon, and his arms cannot fully spin around because of the shoulder piece. We do have a double jointed elbow on him still, so we can get his arm closed about that far. Obviously, we had the waist spin because I was messing with that earlier to see about for the vague hope that maybe spinning him would cause his arms to flail around with the weapon. Can't do, as I kind of mentioned before, you can't really do anything with the ab part, or like the ab crunch / boob cut. Let's just go with boob cut again, like we do with the G.I. Joe figures when they have that. You can't do anything with the boob cut because of the armor. We can kick up so far. We can kick back yay far. No butt crack. Well, maybe a little bit of a butt crack. We can kick out, almost do the splits perfectly. We do have a thigh cut. We have a double jointed knee. Ow. I just stabbed myself with the front of his boot. Boot cut spins around as per usual. We do have a hinge at the bottom, and we can rotate it a bit, but the design of the boot here, where it's got the little bits that hang down, does interfere in the spin, unfortunately. Oh, hey. He also has drop-down hips. Have they had that on those figures for a while? I just haven't noticed. Or have I mentioned it before and just forgot? You know what? Part of the problem, I think, though, with this is, if you look at this, the hips aren't lining up properly either. So I got both hips in place, but you'll note that on this side, his thigh is going right up onto the edge of the loincloth, but on this side, it does not. So maybe that's why, well, okay, it's still kind of angled here. But that's part of why it looks off to me, I think, is because this side does not make it over to the side the way it should. So if we take a look, well, that's even more confusing, because if you look in the crotch here, it looks like this side is further out that way anyway. So why is it not actually reaching out there? I don't think there's any real way to fix that other than to maybe look at the other ones in the store to see if any of them are correct. But that being said, let's see. Well, so golden fists for the flying fists. His dubious weapon. Although it does spin, this is more of a fidget toy than a weapon for an action figure. Let's just be honest. Yay! His shield. I mean, that was always kind of pointless, let's be honest. And him, like, I don't hate the overall design here, per se. I think the lion's heads are a little overkill, because we got the two lions on the shoulders, which, again, the teeth stab into his arm when he raises them. Got the little lion in the front there. I don't know if this is supposed to just be a commentary for royalty. Oh, yeah, and let's see, how do we... We can hook his weapon in the back. I forgot about that special feature. Might have been cool if this had pulled out and it was like a small spear or something. Instead of just like, okay, he can smash and poke. Which is what a lot of men like to do. Smash and poke. Comparison-wise, oops, to the original, or not the original. I don't have the vintage one, as I mentioned before, jeez. I do have the Origins one who can't stand up straight to save himself. While I am not actually a big fan of vac metal on figures, especially on equipment like this, I do think that this is way too plain. Now, I know Matty Collector had used like a metallic paint for like the silver, which looked really good on some of the figures. And I think this guy would have benefited from like a metallic paint job over the gray. I think that would have improved this look immensely, especially if you also did it on like the gold too. But that probably would be costly as well, so they wouldn't do that. Our Flying Fist He-Man, though, like said it before, here's his original weapon. It's pretty boring too. Although it's kind of interesting to note, we got vac metal on 2 of the balls, and the third ball is just that. It's actually that metallic paint, but in gold. But it's actually got a more solid inside, just to kind of help with the spinning feature. So, I guess this does look better than the original variation, or the Origins variation. But like, the only thing this figure really has going for it is that when you swing him around, he's like throwing his arms around and, you know, spinning the little weapon here. But he's still kind of lame. Terraclaw Skeletor made far more sense, but, you know, you have to have a He-Man equivalent for every Skeletor, so that's why we got him. But overall, yeah, that's our look at the Flying Fist He-Man for Masterverse. Like I said, I feel like just somebody at Mattel was like, hey, what's the lamest version of He-Man we did? Let's see if we can improve it. And they didn't really do that. Although I will give them this, the weapon definitely looks better overall. So they improved that part of it, but other than that, nah. Well, the shield's better too. I think the golden fists are kind of stupid. And you can't use the fist with the weapons anyway, with the equipment anyway, so why bother? Of course, I'm also looking at this from the point of view of a collector and not a kid, but I don't think a kid's going to enjoy this figure either. Although they will sit there and, you know, fidget the toy. Oh, God. But thanks for watching, and please let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, obviously, my opinion is Flying Fist He-Man was one of the lamest figures that they did. You can sit there and say, like, the laser-powered He-Man looks kind of stupid and bulky, but it had a pretty cool action figure back in the day, you know? Light up parts. This guy got nothing going for him. Sorry. Like, the original toy didn't have very much going for it either. And if you like this content, or even if you hate it, please go ahead and subscribe. We got less than, 30 days to kind of hit that 500. By the time I post this, it'll probably be like less than 25 days. As I'm really kind of hoping to hit that 500 mark before the end of the year, and I believe I am at 406 right now. But I do thank you for watching, and I hope I entertained you a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.